What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Becoming Better Daily, where we're becoming better mentally, physically, spiritually. Today, I wanted to share a thought or just something I realized when I was reading the word today. I was reading in Matthew. Y'all know I've been in Matthew for about 2 months now, and just making my way through it slowly. But I came up past God, and he was addressing divorce. And what I read today, I read it before, but just revisiting this brought up so many thoughts. It brought up so many um, revelations about marriage, right? Because a lot of people want to get married. We want to get married. We want to experience marriage, but I don't think that many people understand the importance of marriage or what it truly is. Marriage is a union unto God, right? It's something that we agree with God and our partner and ourselves, that we will stay in that arrangement. And what we see today is that a lot of people think of marriage as something disposable, meaning if they get a partner and their partner gains weight, or maybe they just not growing as fast as them, mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever it may be, that people just want to toss the partner away and just get a new one. But that's not how it works. In fact, God's very clear about his expectations around marriage, and so much so that there's only one reason to get divorced. Now, I will say this before people get into it. I think the one exception would be if someone's in an abusive relationship, because that is a threat to their life. Like, that is a threat to literally their physical well-being. But I'm gonna read from Matthew 19, verse 8 today, because it was the Pharisees, and they were walking around and just asking Jesus, right? They're like, oh, can't people just like put away their wife or just get rid of their wife just because they want to? And God starts to address this. And then Jesus addresses this, and he gets very specific in Matthew 19:9. And it says, when they ask, it says, and I say to you, whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another commits adultery, and whoever marries her who is divorced commits adultery. So that jumped off to the page to me today, because the world has created their own rules around marriage, around divorce, around all of these different things. But God is very clear that there's only one way. And I think that it's crazy, because the way that God talks about how we consummate the marriage, how we make it official, is becoming one, right? When they have sex together. God created sex. He created them this for a very specific reason. One, to become one, to connect as a couple, to merge together, right? And the second thing is for procreation. So anything outside of those two things, of enjoying your partner, becoming one, and experiencing that closeness or reproduction, is not the actual design that God created sex, right? So when we think of that, we have people today who maybe they didn't cheat, or people who just felt like they was tired of their partner, just threw them away. They're going against the word of God, right? And so it just made me think that if people thought about this before they got married, right, that you're expected to stay with your partner unless there's sexual immorality. And if that person cheats, then the person who cheated, they are signing up to be single forever. And the person who was cheated on, they get the opportunity to remarry. But I think people would think more like, oh, if I step out of my marriage, what I'm signing up for is living a life that honors God, either single or returning back to the person that person was married to. And I just thought about that, because I'm like I said, a lot of this world, including myself, because I was in the world and have lived the life too, was kind of number one, looking at marriage as a idol, but not understanding the importance and how serious it is. Meaning, once you say and you commit to this one person under God, that you are expected to stay with them unless there's fornication. And if there's fornication, there is extreme discipline, meaning that yes, God has grace. Because I this is another question I had. I'm like, well, God has grace, right? He can forgive us. And yes, God does have grace and he can forgive us, but those consequences still stay. The same way God had grace, when we talked about this in another video, where David committed adultery and slept with Bathsheba, God had grace. He forgave him. And the angel told David that he wouldn't die. However, there were still consequences. David's bloodline experienced a lot of turmoil, and he lost his baby that he had by Bathsheba. And the baby didn't even make it past, I think, like a week or something like that, 7 days. So this is just something, like I said, this is one of those rants or those quick topics I wanted to talk about. Let me know in the comments what y'all think below. But I think that if more people considered the power of marriage, the importance and the meaning of sex, and the repercussions if we step out of a marriage, that they're not just going to be, oh, I stepped out, I made a mistake and move on. The stepping out comes with a long term consequence, meaning that that person signs up to now be single and worship God. They're forgiven, but they worship God in their singleness because they stepped out and they did not honor the agreement that they made in front of God. So I mean, let me know what you guys think, but ultimately I'm coming from the word of God. So, and I know this is hard to hear because it was kind of hard for me, knowing people who've gotten married, knowing things that I have experienced in my own life. I have not been married and I've not fornicated in a marriage, but just seeing the different patterns in my life, people I know, and saying, wow, we really have gotten far away from the word of God. But like I said, you guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Give somebody something to think about. Send this video to today. All right. I love you guys. I'm out.